I need these. We're on hard. We're playing on hard, alright? I need them. Oh, okay, good. Uh-oh. Oh, God. Lancer? Is that you? Hey, you guys! Oh, man. Dark World's gotten a lot worse. Yeah, you got the sequence. 1 plus 3 equals 4. 3 plus 4 equals 7. 7 plus 18. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, how would you know? I guess they give it all the numbers to you, so there's no like issue with that. But I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it. You have to start with something. Like, you can't just start with nothing. So yeah, I do get it. That's fair. Oh, that guy looks like he's not having a good day. Look at this place. It's crazy. Okay, great. Why are you showing me this? There's nothing over here. Alright, cool, I guess. I'm still on the other guys, but it got made easy.
The Red Kingdom's in ruins, but you're no better off.
When you defeated her, I tried to reclaim the castle, but I was set upon by her monstrosities. The malignant royal bitch still reigns.
Ouch.
I'm here to petition her. I must get inside.
The only way in is through me. Sacrifices must be made.
Those who say so usually mean they should be made by others.
Cynicism is a disease. It can be cured. Once inside, beware of the outsized killer who patrols her domain. Never confront him. He is invincible. Now, cut me loose. I'll show you the meaning of sacrifice.
Oh. Oh. Okay, well, I'm gonna go this way first. I'm sorry, my dude. That sucked. He's like, you've unlocked the path, they're not even gonna use it. Look, there are secrets, alright? Your sacrifice will not be in vain. As soon as I get this fixed now, it'll be fine. But yeah, hey, Devismo, even if you're having I know you're having a bad day, I really want to thank you for coming by. Especially with like having such a, not great day, and you still came by to say hello. That's very sweet. I appreciate that. So, I do hope you have a better day tomorrow. I do. I'll be praying for you. The Lord does hear. Oh my god. Ooh. That's the Duchess's like bust. Ain't looking too good. Looks like her bust is deflated a little bit. Okay. Oh, you're welcome, buddy. Wait, how do I get back? I guess can I make that? I'm gonna make the jump, baby. I'm gonna make the jump, baby. Oh, I can, okay. Well, alright. I made the jump, baby. We're gonna go in the streams for another, like, 15 minutes or so, and then we're gonna do the wrap-up at the end. What's this way? Memories.
Games, too, require hard choices. Unpleasant sacrifices must often be made to accomplish a desired goal.
Queen. Ooh, this is awesome. Now this is some October spookiness. Oh god, she don't look too good.
picture tells a story. Wouldn't tolerate a book without pictures when you were a girl.
Aww. I like pictures in my books too. There it is. There you are, you piggy. Yeah, give me that memory. Memories. Oh, that was close. We're good, we're good. We Gucci. We Gucci. We Gucci.
No bearskin rug before the hearth, no deer antlers on the wall, no taxidermic abominations in the house. Demeans the creature's dignity.
Oh, so he didn't like being a hunter. Alright. Bottle. Tiefus? Nope, no, pull the chain. Good job, Alice. Where was that? I forgot I can actually set them down. I don't have to, like, throw them. That's kind of cute. Or just, like, set them down like that. Like, here you go, little rabbit. That's cute, though. Ooh. Okay. Oh, okay, well that's... Okay. What's this way? Ow! Little... I thought that was gonna be a secret path. Secret passage! No, okay, this is where we have to go. Okay. This one. There we go. He's a top, he's a top. Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh god. Mr. Candy King. It's the Candy Man. Okay, that's not doing anything.
I'm
All right.
an idiot. Don Quixote had a better chance with his windmills, and without risk of decapitation.
Prudent exit is no less so for being hasty.
Close the doors. All right, well, we're safe. All right, well, that was terrible. Okay, we're not safe. Uh-oh. Run, Alice, run, girl! Go inside, go inside, go inside, go inside, go inside. Goodbye, I'm a mouse, goodbye! Alright. We're good. We're safe, we're okay.
The Queen's Guardian rarely leaves his filthy lair, but you're special.
It was back this way. I think I missed some stuff. Hold on. Yeah, almost missed a memory. No, we ain't doing that. This place is eerie.
A weapon's intended function is almost beside the point. Ultimately, it's only as good as the person who wields it.
True. True, 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 true. Gotta be good at what you do. Oh my god. Oh, I hate that. I pull the chain. Just checking. More of you guys. There we go. Oh no, come on, man! How'd you get all the way up there? Oh, jeez. Wait, there were a couple teeth up there. Oh my god. Out of bottle, that's nice. Oh, okay. Hi, dude. Ooh! Oh no! Oh no 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 no! Oh no! Wait, no no! I'm not ready! I'm not ready! I'm not ready, wait! I want the stuff! I want the stuff! I want the stuff! That's not fair! That's not fair! Oh, it didn't take damage. Oh my gosh, you took away half my health. Oh! Oh! Bye! Jump that sucker!
Ignore her pledge to decapitate intruders only at your peril.
Sucker! Where's your ups? Ah! Alright, what's next? Wait, there's a wait, what? What? Oh, it's, okay. Okay, I see. Die. Alright. Heal me, heal me, heal me, heal me, heal me, heal me. Now we got a lot of health to heal at this point. There we go. I'll pick a nigga basket for me. Hey, woo woo. All right. There we go. All right. Yeah, we'll go till we get to the next save point. We're almost there. I just want to get to a good stopping point. Ooh, it beats. I hate it. Oh, there's a thing up there. Oh my gosh, I almost missed it. Oh my gosh, did you see that? You see that? Oh my god. Yeah, check it out.
Balance is the golden mean of all things.
Balance in all
Light
things.
and dark, between disease and health, or even between wrong and right.
Incorrect! Because right and righteousness can exist without wrong, evil, and sin. Wait, what is this? Put the pawn on the chessboard. The opposite pawn will mirror your movements. Complete the chess puzzle by getting both pawns to their goal at the same time. Rooks will block the path. Avoid the knights. It will destroy the pawns. Chess puzzle will complete this video. Oh my gosh, no! Go. Oh, okay, that one was easy. Cool! I'm a genius! Oh, there's more. Cool. Love that. Yeah, let's do it again. Alright, so... Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, you can just move all the way down. Cool. Don't give me a third. Don't give me... Oh, thank goodness. I was like, don't give me a third one. That dress looks so good on her. The fashion Alice wears is so good. Ah. Look at the little saunter. She's so cool. We're going back, is there? All right. I think this is a good place to stop. And we can come right back into the creepiness. There's the nose right there, but I should remember to get that. All right. All right, that will be it for our dive into Alice for today. All right, we got into the Queen's Domain. We're making good progress. Oh, we got some new... Oh, we got some actual concept art, really? Oh, we found all in Chapter 3. Look at that. I guess I can use the mouse. Oh, look at that. Climbing tower. Man, concept art is so cool. And then the cocoon. He still got the pipe in there. Good gosh. I love surrealistic stuff like this. So cool. Characters. We get that's new. Wilton Radcliffe, QC. Formerly an Oxford magistrate, my father's solicitor, he is the executor of our family's estate, most of which he claims was consumed by my treatment at Rutledge Asylum. An awkward, confirmed bachelor, Radcliffe's parents, after foreign office postings in Tokyo, Shanghai, perished in the Sepoy Rebellion. He gives mementos of their lives in the Orient. He's fussy and secretive, but I have little idea what he might be trying to conceal. Mute. This mute had a sufficiently melancholic face and disposition to suit any funeral, but his profession pointed in me in unproductive directions. I need to ignore him. Lion Chop. Though nearly immobile, I'd argue this creature's signature maneuver is quite enough to terrify a hardened pyromaniac. He uses a healthy fear of fire as an additional weapon. Okay, origami other. Knowledge gathered from experience is often insufficient to foresaw tragic consequences. These elders seem to know what must be done to avert disaster, but unable to do it. Origami ant. They share labor and prize communication. They are socially sophisticated, resourceful, and industrious. But the society's health, its very existence, is dependent on the kindness of strangers. The soldier class is virtually useless against hostile strangers. The important must make terrible bargains. And the caterpillar. Despite his questionable habits, his uncongenial advice, his stern, prickly manner, and an aura of portentous mystery, this wise creature is my personal, directly communicative Delphic oracle. It's not always easy to guess what he means. Origami ant monk. Few societies properly value their contemplative, artistic, or spiritual members. Action, or of nearly any description, with nearly any outcome, is disproportionately valued, even by them. Ouch. Oh, Humpty was there? I didn't even notice. Well, he did sit on the wall, and he fell off, etc. Fancied himself a kind of authority figure, acting more like security guard at Market Stall. In fact, couldn't secure his belt. Empress Wasp? We didn't even see that. Are these enemies that, I don't think we saw this. I think that was an enemy we never got into, fight. All the card guards. Without weapons, Queen's Reckless Guards aren't much more than fodder in a fight. They were never really good at their hands, but this current bout of clawing demands caution. There are so many of them, and they're eager to give up their lives. Even dead, their corporal delecti and remnants can cause a problem. The Executioner. With less intelligence and imagination than a wind-up toy, this brute does the bidding of the Queen. Her creature, its orders out of date, is certain to fall hard. When he falls, but until then, he's so much more of a heartache. Alright. Alright, there we go. And that will do it for Madness for today. Alright, not too bad, not too bad. We got through a good amount. We're kind of getting through 1.5-ish. Really one, but one time we got through 1.5, so it puts us in the middle of the next one every time we go through. But not too bad. We're doing pretty well, I would think. I like to think so myself. We only have the rest of this world and then one more next, so we're making our way downtown, walking fast, faces past we're homebound. Nope, make that go away. No. You. Just. Here we go. Alright, there we go. Well, thank you so much for joining, and that was our dive into Madness Returns for today. Like I said, making good progress. And it's working pretty well for spooky October month. So, looking at the date today, it's already the 19th, so we should be finishing it pretty much on around Halloween. So we should be fine for doing it around Halloween time. If we have a tiny bit of time in October, I might do a very, very fast dive into a little miniature horror game or something like that. I'm not sure, but we'll take a look if we get to that point. We still need more time. But yeah, Thank you so much for joining. Today was Alice Madness Returns. We'll be continuing with that later this week. And speaking of which, I got a little bit of a small announcement of some schedule swap. It's not going to change any of the scheduled times, but what's going to happen for those times is different. We are trying something new for the Everyone Gets Together Tales of Vesperia dive. Some of the guys have been having a little bit of trouble making it on Friday, so what we're going to do this week to test, and I don't know if it's going to be the new thing while we finish Vesperia, we're going to do the next dive into Tales of Vesperia on Sunday, on our Sunday dive stream. So that will be at around 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to get started, and we'll probably go for, I guess we'll try to go for 3 hours. Usually the Sunday streams only go for like a 2 or 2.5, but I guess we'll try to go for 3 because everyone will be there and, make it a bigger stream. So that means that this Friday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be diving back into Alice again. So this coming Friday, we'll do Alice Madness as well. And then that'll move us into the Sunday, which will be the tail stream. So we're switching Friday and Sunday's streams of like where we go, just because it'll be more helpful for the guys maybe, so we want to try it out. So we'll give it a shot and see if it works, see if it kind of helps. But we'll take a look at that, and we'll see if that kind of works out or anything like that. But yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Icarus. You can find me on basically Icarus Redeemed on most stuff. I'm Icarus Redeemed on YouTube. All of these VODs go up. I try to split them up, make it more digestible, kind of like hour-long VODs instead. You can also find me on Twitter, Icarus_Redeemed, and that will, I usually post on there about changes and like when we're going live and stuff like that. We do have a Discord as well. I don't really advertise it because I haven't done much with it. And that's just because I haven't had a lot of ideas of what to do with it yet, so I'm kind of still working with that. But yeah, so you can go to the Icarus Redeemed Discord channel as well. It's on the Twitch. It's on my Twitch page, URL stuff. And yeah, so before we go, usually at the end of a stream, I like to share a little bit of God's word because I'm a believer in His word myself, and I like to spread a little bit of the gospel and the Bible and His work in humanity. But as we've been going through October month, I've been kind of going and reading through Alice through the Looking Glass. So I read Alice's Adventures in Wonderland myself a year ago in order to prepare for the campaign and the Alice type character I was going to play, which didn't really go anywhere. But I never did read through the Looking Glass, so I thought, hey, on stream, it could be kind of fun to read through. Kind of like a little read-along. It's like a special thing for October. So I figured, might as well, and maybe we could get through some of it. So we're on Chapter 4 in Through the Looking Glass. So let me go ahead and get there. And we're about to meet 2 very famous characters that many people actually know about because of the Disney movie. And they're actually through the Looking Glass and not through Alice in Wonderland's journey. A lot of times they actually mix up the 2 things. So just to let you know, through the Looking Glass so far, we follow Alice and her adventures, and she went through the Looking Glass, like a mirror, into a mirror world. There she met the Red Queen, who said, hey, you can be a pawn in our game of chess, which spans the whole land. All you gotta do is get through all the steps, and it'll take you to the end, and then you get to be crowned queen yourself. She's like, hey, I'll do it. So she kind of has been journeying through. She's met a lot of colorful characters. I mean, it's through the Looking, it's Wonderland in one way or another, so it's gonna get weird. And yeah, so we've just been reading through, and now she just stumbled through a forest where she almost forgot her name, but she got it back. And now she's going to meet 2 characters who are very, very familiar to a lot of us. So let's go on ahead and go into Chapter 4. Chapter 4. Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Well, Tweedledum and Tweedledee, but whatever. They were standing under a tree, each with an arm around the other's neck, and Alice knew which was which in a moment, because one of them had "Dumb" embroidered on his collar, and the other "D." I suppose they've each got Tweedle round the back of the collar, she said to herself. They stood so still she quite forgot they were alive, and she was just looking round to see if the word Tweedle was written at the back of each collar, when she was startled by a voice coming from the one marked dumb. If you think we're no, that's not, no. If you think we're waxwork, he said, you ought to pay, you know. Waxworks weren't made to be looked at for nothing, no how. Contrariwise, added the one marked D, if you think we're alive, you ought to speak. I'm sure I'm very sorry, was all Alice could say, for the words of the old song kept ringing through her head like the ticking of a clock. She could hardly help saying them out loud. Tweedledum and Tweedledee agreed to have a battle, for Tweedledum and Tweedledee where Tweedledum said Tweedledee had spoiled his nice new rattle. Just then flew down a monstrous crow, as black as a tar barrel, which frightened both the heroes so they quite forgot their quarrel. I don't know what you're thinking about, said Tweedledum, but it isn't so, nohow. Contrariwise, said Tweedledee, if it was so, it might be, and if it were so, it would be, but as it isn't, it ain't. That's logic. That's logic for you fellas, Wonderland style. I was thinking, Alice said very politely, which is the best way out of the woods? It's getting so dark. Would you tell me, please? But the fat little men only looked at each other and grinned. They looked so exactly like a couple of great schoolboys, Alice couldn't help pointing her finger at Tweedledum and saying, First boy. Nohow, Tweedledum cried out briskly and shut his mouth up again with a snap. Next boy, said Alice, passing on to Tweedledee, though she felt quite certain he would only shout on, Contrariwise, and so he did. You've begun wrong, cried Tweedledum. This first thing in a visit is to say how-de-do and shake hands. And here the two brothers gave each other a hug, and then they held out the two hands that were free to shake hands with her. Alice did not like shaking hands with either of them first, for fear of hurting the other one's feelings. So as the best way out of the difficulty, she took hold of both hands at once. The next moment they were dancing round in a ring. This seemed quite natural, she remembered afterwards, as she was not even surprised to hear music playing. It seemed to come from the tree under which they were dancing, and it was done, as well as she could make out, by the branches rubbing one across the other, like fiddles and fiddlesticks. But it certainly was fun. It was funny, Alice said afterwards, when she was telling her sister the history of all this, to find myself singing, Here we go round the mulberry bush. I don't know when I began it, but somehow I felt I'd been singing it in a long, long time. The other two dancers were fat and were very soon out of breath. 4 times round is enough for one dance, Tweedledum panted out, and they left off dancing so suddenly as they had begun. The music stopped at the same moment. Then they let go of Alice's hands and stood looking at her for a minute. There was a rather awkward pause, and Alice didn't know how to begin a conversation with people she had just been dancing with. It would never do to say, how do you do, now, she said to herself. We seem to have got beyond that, somehow. I hope you're not much tired, she said at last. Nohow, and thank you very much for asking, said Tweedledum. So much obliged, added Tweedledee. You like poetry? Yes, pretty well. Some poetry, Alice said doubtfully. Would you tell me which road leads out of the wood? What shall I repeat to her? Said Tweedledee, looking round at Tweedledum with great solemn eyes and not noticing Alice's question. The walrus and the carpenter is longest, Tweedledum replied, giving his brother an affectionate hug. Oh, God, here it is, the walrus and the carpenter, just like in the second chapter of Madness Returns. Tweedledee began instantly. The sun was shining. Here Alice ventured to interrupt him. If it's very long, she said, as politely as she could, would you please tell me first which road? Tweedledee smiled gently and began again. The sun was shining on the sea. Okay, I guess I'll just sit here. Shining with all his might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was odd because it was the middle of the night. The moon was shining sulkily because she thought the sun had got no business to be there after the day was done. It's very rude of him, she said, to come and spoil the fun. The sea was wet as wet could be. The sands were dry as dry. You could not see a cloud because no cloud was in the sky. No birds were flying overhead. There were no birds to fly. The walrus and the carpenter were walking close at hand. They wept like anything to see such quantities of sand. Sing this one. I want to give them different voices. I don't know. If this were only cleared away, they said, it would be grand. If 7 maids with 7 mops swept it for half a year, do you suppose, the walrus said, that they could get it clear? I doubt it, said the carpenter, and shed a bitter tear. Oh, oysters, come and walk with us, the walrus did beseech. A pleasant walk, a pleasant talk, along the briny beach. We cannot do more than 4 to give each a hand to each. The eldest oyster looked at him, but never a word he said. The eldest oyster winked his eye and shook his heavy head, meaning to say he did not choose to leave the oyster bed. But 4 young oysters hurried up, all eager for a treat. Their coats were brushed, their faces washed, their shoes were clean and neat. And this was odd because, you know, they hadn't any feet. 4 other oysters followed them, and yet another 4. And thick and fast they came at last, and more and more and more. All hopping through the frothy waves, all scrambling to the shore. The walrus and the carpenter walked on a mile or so, and then they rested on a rock conveniently low. And all the little oysters stood and waited in a row. The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of many things, of shoes and ships and sealing wax, of cabbages and kings, and why the sea is boiling hot, and whether pigs have wings. Remember that line? That was in Man's Determined of the walrus. The time has come to talk of time. But wait a bit, the oysters cried, before we have our chat, for some of us are out of breath, and all of us are fat. No hurry, said the carpenter. They thanked him much for that. A loaf of bread, the walrus said, is what we chiefly need. Pepper and vinegar, besides, are very good indeed. Now if you're ready, oysters dear, we can begin to feed. But not on us, the oysters cried, turning a little blue. After such kindness, that would be a dismal thing to do. The night is fine, the walrus said. Do you admire the view? And so very kind of you to come, and you are very nice. The carpenter said nothing, but cut another slice. I wish you were not so deaf. I've had to ask you twice. It seems a shame, the walrus said, to play them such a trick. And we've brought them out so far and made them trot so quick. The carpenter said nothing, but the butter spreads too thick. I weep for you, the walrus said. I deeply sympathize. With sobs and tears he sorted out those of the largest size, holding his pocket handkerchief before his streamy eyes. Oh, oysters, said the carpenter, you've had a pleasant run. Shall we be trotting home again? But answer came there none. And this was scaredly odd because they'd eaten every one. Walrus and the carpenter, and then the eating. And we got that from, this was used in the second chapter. This is all the second chapter of Bandus Returns. Remember, with the eating of the oysters and everything. It's kind of cool how you worked this in. Also, a very dark tale. But then again, a lot of Brothers Grimm's were too, so. I like the walrus best, said Alice. Really? Really, Alice? That's your favorite? He's a monster. Because you see, he was a little sorry for the poor oysters. He ate them! Girl! He ate more than the carpenter, though, said Tweedledee. You see, he held his handkerchief in front, so the carpenter couldn't count how many he took, contrary-wise. That was mean, Alice said indignantly. Then I liked the carpenter best, if he didn't eat so many as the walrus. But he ate as many as he could get, said Tweedledum. This was a puzzler. After a pause, Alice began, "Well, they were both very unpleasant creatures." Yes, they were. Here she checked herself in some alarm at hearing something that sounded to her like a puffing of a large steam engine in the wood near them, though she feared it was more likely to be a wild beast. "Are there any lions or tigers about here?" she asked timidly. "It's only the Red King snoring," said Tweedledee. "Come and look at him!" the brothers cried, and they each took one of Alice's hands and led her up to where the Red King was sleeping. "Isn't he a lovely sight?" said Tweedledum. Alice couldn't say honestly that he was. He had a tall red nightcap on, with a tassel. He was lying crumpled up into a sort of untidy heap, and snoring loud. "Fit to snore his head off," Tweedledum remarked. "I'm afraid he'll catch cold with lying on the damp grass," said Alice, who was a very thoughtful little girl. "He's dreaming now," said Tweedledee. "And what do you think he's dreaming about?" "Oh, nobody can guess that," Alice said. "Why, about you!" Tweedledee exclaimed, clapping his hands triumphantly. "And if he left off dreaming about you, where do you suppose he'd be?" "Where I am now, of course," said Alice. There's the king. No, not that one. This one. There he is, sleeping in his nightcap. "Not you," Tweedledee retorted contemptuously. "You be nowhere. Why, you only a sort of thing in his dream." If that there king was to wake," Tweedledum, "you'd go out, bang, like a candle." "I shouldn't," Alice exclaimed indignantly. "Besides, if I'm only a sort of thing in his dream, what are you? I should like to know." "Ditto," said Tweedledum. "Ditto, ditto," cried Tweedledee. He shouted this so loud that Alice couldn't help saying, "Shh, you'll be waking him. I'm afraid if he'll make so much noise." "Well, it's no use you're talking about waking him," said Tweedledum, "when you're only one of the things in his dream. You know very well you're not real." "I am real," said Alice, and began to cry. "You won't make yourself a bit realer by crying," Tweedledee remarked. "There's nothing to cry about." "If I wasn't real," Alice said, half laughing through her tears, it all seemed so ridiculous, "I shouldn't be able to cry." "I hope you don't suppose those are real tears," Tweedledum interrupted in a tone of great contempt. "These guys suck. "I know you're talking nonsense," Alice thought to herself, "and it's foolish to cry about it." This is her arguing with them because they stink. So she brushed away her tears and went on as cheerfully as she could. "At any rate, I better be getting out of the wood, for it really is coming on very dark. Do you think it's going to rain?" Tweedledum spread out a large umbrella over himself and his brother and looked up into it. "No, I don't think it is," he said. "At least not under here, nohow." "But it may rain outside." "It may, if it chooses," said Tweedledee. "We've no objection, contrariwise." "Selfish things," thought Alice, and she was just going to say good night and leave them, when Tweedledum sprang out from under the umbrella and seized her by the wrist. "Do you see that?" he said, in a voice choking with compassion, and his eyes grew large and yellow all in a moment, as he pointed with a trembling finger at a small white thing lying under a tree. "It's only a rattle," Alice said, after a careful examination of the little white thing. "Not a rattlesnake, you know," she added hastily, thinking that he was frightened. "Only an old rattle, quite old and broken." "I knew it was!" cried Tweedledum, beginning to stamp out wildly and tearing his hair. "It's spoiled, of course!" Here he looked at Tweedledee, who immediately sat down on the ground and tried to hide himself under the umbrella. Alice laid her hand upon his arm and said with a soothing tone, "You needn't be so angry about an old rattle." "But it isn't old!" Tweedledee cried in a greater fury than ever. "It's new, I tell you! I bought it yesterday! My nice new rattle!" And his voice rose to a perfect scream. I'm not screaming. It's pretty late over here. All this time, Tweedledee was trying his best to fold up the umbrella with himself in it, which was such an extraordinary thing to do that quite took off Alice's attention from the angry brother. But he couldn't quite succeed, and ended in his rolling over, bundled up in the umbrella, with only his head out. And there he lay, opening and shutting his mouth with his large eyes, looking more like a fish than anything else, Alice thought. "Of course you agreed to have a battle," Tweedledee said in a calmer tone. "I suppose so," the other sulkily replied, as he crawled out of the umbrella. Only she must help us dress up, you know. So the two brothers went off hand in hand into the wood and returned in a minute with their arms full of things, such as bolster, blankets, hearth rugs, tablecloths, dish covers, and coal scuttles. I hope you're a good hand at pinning and tying strings, Tweedledum remarked. Every one of these things got to go on somehow or other. Trying to gear up for how much AC can I get? What can I put the buckler on my forehead for a 1 extra defense? Can I do this? Just like walking out like the Christmas Story kid. All right, I'm good. Try to get through this. Alice said afterwards she had never seen such a fuss made about anything in all her life. The way those two bustled about, and the quantity of things they put on, and the trouble they gave her in tying strings and fastening buttons. Really, they'll be more like bundles of old clothes than anything else, by the time they're ready, she said to herself as she arranged a bolster round the neck of Tweedledee, to keep his head from being cut off, to keep his head from being cut off, as he said. This is her putting the stuff on. That's a lot of stuff. You know, he added very gravely, it's one of the most serious things that could possibly happen to one in a battle, to get one's head cut off. Yeah, it's pretty serious. Alice laughed loud, but she managed to turn it into a cough for fear of hurting his feelings. Do I look very pale? Said Tweedledum, coming up to have his helmet tied on. He called it a helmet, though it certainly looked more like a saucepan. Well, yes, a little, Alice replied gently. I'm very brave generally, he went on in a low voice, only today I happen to have a headache. And I've got a toothache, said Tweedledee, who had overheard the remark. I'm far worse than you. Then you better not fight today, said Alice, thinking it a good opportunity to make peace. We must have a bit of a fight, but I don't care about going on long, said Tweedledum. What's the time now? Tweedledee looked at his watch and said, 4:30. Let's fight till 6 and have dinner, said Tweedledum. Very well, the other said, rather sadly. And she can watch us. Only you better not come very close, he added. I generally hit everything I see when I get really excited. And I hit everything within reach, cried Tweedledum, whether I can see it or not. Alice laughed. You must hit the trees pretty often, I should think, she said. Tweedledum looked round him with a satisfied smile. I don't suppose, he said, there'll be a tree left standing for ever so far round by the time we've finished. I'm all about to rattle, said Alice, still hoping to make them a little ashamed of fighting for such a trifle. I shouldn't have minded it so much, said Tweedledum, if it hadn't been a new one. I wish the monstrous crow would come, thought Alice. There's only one sword, you know, Tweedledum said to his brother, but you can have the umbrella. It's quite as sharp. Only we must begin quick. It's getting as dark as it can. And darker, said Tweedledee. It was getting dark so suddenly that Alice thought there must be a thunderstorm coming on. What a thick black cloud that is, she said. How fast it comes. Why, I do believe it's got wings. It's the crow! Tweedledum cried out in the shrill voice of alarm, and the two brothers took to their heels and were out of sight in a moment. Alice ran a little way into the wood and stopped under a large tree. It can never get to me here, she thought. It's far too large to squeeze itself in among the trees. But I wish it wouldn't flap its wings so. It makes quite a hurricane in the wood. Here's somebody's shawl being blown away. And that was Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Just as stupid as I thought they were. Oh my god. Man, his writings are... It's weird because, like, you think it's like, oh, lol, tay random. But it all kind of ties together. I was honestly always impressed whenever I read... Yeah, they're jerks. Whenever I read the original Alice in Wonderland, I was very impressed that all of the world, as crazy as it was, did link together. Everything worked together. One of the reasons I think this does so well is it actually, and this is a rule for fiction, it actually does have rules. Crazy rules that are insane compared to reality, but it does have rules, and it does follow it. It has exceptions to the rules, but it has proven rules as well. And it does actually work on it. At the end of the Wonderland, it kind of all did fit together. I was actually surprised at how it did. And it impressed me. I was actually like, oh, wow, this is not just lol tay random, but it's actually fitting together okay. Favorite Alice in Wonderland character? You're talking about from the books, right? There's been so many iterations that I'm thinking about iterations, which is not fair. So I'm trying to, go back to, well, when it comes to iterations, I absolutely love Alice from Madness Returns, Alice Little. I love her like style and everything. Her model and like the way she looks and like fights is so good. But from the actual stories, what would be my favorite character out of everything so far? I'm trying to think. Dude, one of the unsung characters that's hilarious is the little do you remember in the cartoon in the Disney one, do you remember the little lizard who goes up the chimney and then falls down and gets all scared and everything? Remember him? He's actually more in the book, like Wonderland, and he's kind of like a derp. Like he always gets like the short end of the stick, and whenever he's writing the stuff, everything's like his placard that he's writing on is upside down, and they're like, "Come on, flip it over," and it's really funny. The Cheshire Cat is obviously one of the best characters. The Cheshire Cat is one of the best mystical, weird guide type characters in all of fiction. Screw Wonderland, the story aside, all of fiction, the way that he's portrayed and the way he works is very, very good. So yeah, one of the things I did think was really cool is that the Mad Hatter, the reason that he actually has the Tea Party in the real book is because the reason he has a perpetual Tea Party forever is because he's actually staving off death. He is having tea at like 3:00 p.m. perpetually so that time will never move because he never acknowledges it moving, and therefore death will never come to him. So it's actually really cool. Like I didn't know that was why he was doing it. So that's like I was like, oh, that's really neat. I like that. But yeah, I think my favorite character would probably have to be. It's not the Duchess. The Duchess sucks. My favorite character would probably have to be man, that's hard. Because I think about Wonderland as like a whole. Like I think about like the experience itself and like the world as like a whole, as like a character unto itself, just because it's so well made. So I think about individual characters, but I don't like parse them as much. How would you describe the Cheshire Cat's personality? I wish I knew more adjectives and words. I'm not as well literate as I should be. Helpful troll. I mean, enigmatic guide. Like it's so hard to figure out what that crap he's talking about, but it's all pertinent and he's helping. So like maybe an enigmatic kind of guide kind of thing. Because his whole point is to guide, but also to question at the same time while he's guiding, to kind of like not just like, oh, you're doing this, but also, well, yeah, you're doing it. Why are you doing it? And are you sure you're doing it? Are you sure you're really doing what you're doing? Which is really cool. So yeah, I think the concepts are some of my favorites about that. Is like understanding like because Wonderland has such like a good like it really is like a child's fantasy. It plays on concepts for reality. Like if you think about something in a certain way, as silly as it is, it's like, well, why isn't it that way? Of course it's that way. There's an assumption of like conceptual understanding that rules the world of Wonderland in a way that is nonsense, but if you think in the line of what like a child does, or a line of like a simplicity of conceptual understanding, it like technically works itself out. So yeah, I mean it's really interesting. Sorry, I went way into that. Cheshire Cat's personality, yeah, I would say like enigmatic guide, like one of those like oversee type of character that you can't pin down, and you know he's good, like you know he's not bad, but you have no idea why the crap he's doing what he's doing, and what do you want from me? Pick a character. Who's your favorite? Who would you want to see more of? Okay, from the books. From the actual story. Well, I haven't read all of Looking Glass yet, so that's, I don't know those characters all quite yet, but okay. You said who would I want to see more of? See, that's a weird question because I actually don't want to see more of any of them. And let me explain that. There are a lot of different weird characters in this that come in, do their stuff, and have their little like lesson and their little like section of moving and of like their little like interactions, and then move on. I mean, you saw what Tweedledum, they showed up, did their stuff, and then ran away. Honestly, except for the Cheshire Cat, I'll give you that. I would want to see more of the cat, but that's not fair because he's so well done. So I think the point of the cat is not to see him a lot. So when he shows up, it's a big deal. I honestly don't know how many characters I want to see more of, because if they were used any more than they were in the book, I think I would get annoyed by them, because they stick around just long enough to make me interested and be like, who are you? And then like leave before they overstay their welcome. Devismo, I find all the characters very uncomfortable and unnerving, so I kind of agree. Yeah, honestly, yes, they're uncomfortable. Yes, this has a lot of uncomfortableness with it, and that's kind of the point, is that you're trying to work it through and it doesn't make sense, and it's just enough to get you interested, and then start to overstay its welcome. And you see that now as she starts to get, I'm tired of this, I want to leave, and then they leave. And then they do leave, and then you don't have to deal with them anymore, but you realize like, oh my gosh, that was terrible. Wait, but that's that over there. It's that whole curiosity thing that leads you to something that there's a whole preface in this book about like how the whole thing about Alice. Here we go. Taming chance versus ending boredom. The whole point, from what someone was interpreting, that the whole point of the book is taking a chance to end boredom and the risks and consequences that come with that. Because when you go into something to end boredom, you have to get involved in it. And when you get involved in it, at first it's interesting and curious, but then the more you get into it, the more headache it becomes, because you have to get more involved. And then you realize, oh shoot, this is going to toil on me. So, kind of a weird thing. It's like spending time with crazy people, not to be insensitive, being surrounded by them. Right. It's like being around people who like are interesting and think differently, but are exhausting to be around, because it's like, I can't deal with this for too long because I can't. You're running me rampant. I have to basically try to keep up with what you're doing. So it's like curiosity peaks. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Unstable. They're unstable, and like the characters in the book are unstable, and they're self-absorbed in a weird way to where it's interesting to be around, but once you're around them for too long, it's like, okay, no. It's interesting. It's interesting book. It's interesting double book. I mean, because two of them, to be sure. It's pretty interesting for sure. I would definitely suggest reading it for anyone who never has. I'm glad I did, regardless of my character the end of my campaign or not. But yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, and we'll continue it next time. But for now, I would not want to go into Wonderland. Yeah, I love the concept and the conceptual idea of it, but like if it was, obviously it's not real life, reality, but if it was real life, I would love to go, but I know I would love to go and be like, yes, but just like Alice, after being there for a little bit, I'd be like, this was a mistake. I know I would be like that. I'd be like, I want to go. And then after being there for a little bit, like, this was a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. Yeah, that is exactly how that would go. I know that for certain. Oh my gosh. But yeah, yeah, it's interesting for sure. But I liked it enough to make a character based for a campaign who was going to be Wonderland based for a huge deal. So I guess I'm glutton for punishment to some degree. It's like you're only sane person in a non-violent mental institution. Yeah, like you're the only sane one in a world that doesn't make sense, and like having to deal with that and having to like come to terms with, okay, what do I deal with this? How do I try to get on their level? Do I try to get away from that level? So anyway, we'll end there for today. We will pick back up on Friday at around 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for more Alice Dive. And then this coming Sunday at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time will be Tales of Vesperia with everyone. And we'll see how that goes and see if it goes well and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, Divismo, I'm sorry. For October, we're going to be doing the reading of Alice instead. We'll go back to Bible readings, of course, make no mistake. But I wanted to do this on Alice stream days because I thought it'd be kind of cool to like read through the story together because I never got to read through Looking Glass. Don't worry, the devotionals will be back. You know I'm going to go back to those. And Sundays will not be Alice. Sundays will be devotional, so long as we don't go so long that I literally don't have time because I'm worried about how long Sunday's going to go, since usually Sunday I don't go very long, but we're going to be on with the guys, so usually that goes longer. We're going to see how it works. But don't you worry, devotionals will be going. I promise you they will be coming back. That it's not forever. No. I'm just doing Alice during the October months to, mix things up a tiny bit, and because it's appropriate, and honestly, for a selfish reason, I never got to read through the Looking Glass, and I figured why not. But yeah, thank you so much for joining, everyone. May God bless all of you. I do appreciate you showing up and watching on VODs or whatever you do. I hope you have a fantastic night, and I keep all of you in my prayers. May God bless you. And remember, in this crazy life of ours, our own weird wonderland of reality, there is a God who does make everything orderly and right. And there is a God who is standing against chaos and discord, and who does want love and order for all of us. And he loves each and every one of us and died for all of you. So don't ever forget that no matter what we go through, whatever craziness comes, there is a steady guide who wants to hold our hands, and a God omniscient, more powerful than anything. And he won't be cryptic in his guidance, but will be right there with us. So, absolutely, Divismo. Thank you, too, for showing up, by the way. I really appreciate it. It was very fun to see you again. I hope to see you again soon. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and head on out. Goodbye, everyone. See you later.